Hey there, Tim with Perkins Roofing here, and today we're going to talk about the different types of roof restorations. One thing to keep in mind with roof restorations is that there is no one-size-fits-all solution. Each type of roof restoration is made to cure a different problem. So different decks have different issues, and there are various types of roof restorations or liquid applied roofing systems or coatings that are made for each situation. The key is to know what application to use for which different scenarios, and a lot of roofers don't know the difference between what they should do, what they shouldn't do, and the pros and cons of what to use in different scenarios. The first and one of the most common types of waterproofing systems we're going to talk about are acrylic coating systems, which are water-based. And one of the pros of an acrylic system is that it's cost effective. Second is that it cleans up really nice and holds its color, so it looks pretty good from an aerial view. Now, negatives are that it is not meant for pedestrian traffic, so it's not meant to be walked on. And additionally, you can't put tiles or anything like that, no overburdens on top of it. And another con is that it's not meant for ponding water. So if you don't have a good slope on your roof deck, you're going to have issues where the water-based acrylic system is going to, when the water sits on it, it's going to get like an alligator look to it, where you'll start see it peel up. It'll start peeling. And we call that alligatoring because it looks like alligator skin. The second most common waterproofing system that we see for roofing purposes are silicone systems, and they're getting more and more popular as well. So some pros of silicone systems is, number one, like water-based, it's cost effective. Number two is that it handles ponding water very well. So if you have a flat roof that has ponding issues or you have like deteriorating papers on your flat roof, you can put silicone on it, and that should help with the ponding. It won't eliminate the ponding itself, but it will halt deterioration, at least short term. Now, some cons about silicone are you can't put overburdens on it just like water-based systems. Second is sometimes there can be discoloration because if you have ponding areas, then water is going to be sitting there, algae and stuff is going to stain the silicone. And lastly, it doesn't have as long of a roof life on it as a water-based if you have slopes. So if you have a sloped roof, you're better off putting an acrylic system. If you have a flat roof that holds ponding water or bird baths in it, then you're going to be better off with a silicone roofing system. Now, what most people consider to be the best or the strongest roofing system is a polyurethane waterproofing. And polyurethanes can be done with and without fabric embedded. Generally, if you have a membrane embedded in, it's a better system. And there are a number of different systems. We have Kemper systems, Sika Roof Pro, Tremco. So there are a number of different urethane-based roofing systems, and one of the benefits is that it can handle pedestrian traffic or overburdens depending on which system you're using, and you have to follow the specifications very much to the T when it comes to urethane systems. And there are quite a few coats. You have usually more applications than what you have when you're doing a water-based or a silicone system. So because of this, and because the urethane itself is more expensive, the buckets are usually 3 or 4 times the price of silicone or water-based for material, then you're going to have a much more expensive system. So that's the biggest con on urethane, is that it's more expensive. Where the pros are, they're durable. You can usually get 20-year warranties if you're embedding membrane into it, and you can handle foot traffic, put tiles on top of it, whatever, certain overburdens on top of it per their approvals. So usually also for like planters or terrace decks. So if you have terrace decks or balcony decks over living space, you're usually putting a urethane down. And then also for planters, like if you have a planter that is above living space, like some of these fancy condos have planters and pool decks and stuff like that over the living space, then usually you're putting a urethane waterproofing system down. One less common option that we like to provide for our clients is a thermoplastic liquid applied system. We've done this on a number of condos, houses, where they want a more cost-effective option for overburdens. Now, there are certain rules that come to it that you have to grade things a certain way. For instance, you want your deck to be graded before you put your thermoplastic system down, so that you're not trying to grade tile deck or anything like that by putting a lot of thin set or a big mortar bed on top of the thermoplastic system. So you want to have a graded deck first. So there are a lot of numbers of rules that you have to follow in order to properly do a thermoplastic with an overburden. You can also do a thermoplastic as an option for ponding water to silicone, where you can actually recoat it and extend warranty. Where silicone has issues with recoating, the only thing you can put on top of silicone is silicone, is a nice rule of thumb. So thermoplastic is pretty competitive with silicone. It's a little bit more usually, but it is effective against ponding water. There are benefits to using thermoplastic versus silicone, but it isn't as effective against ponding water as silicone. For instance, like you'll get a ponding water exclusion for a silicone roofing system, but you won't find that in a thermoplastic liquid applied system. The last one we're going to talk about is an aluminum coat system. Those are those silver aluminum looking systems that you see on some older roofs. They were pretty popular about 15 years ago, 10 years ago. Most of them now are pretty degraded. They alligator up just like a water-based if it's a flat roof. And I've seen a lot of bad cracked up aluminum coat systems. We do not install them. Some people still do because they're not expensive to install. They're pretty cheap systems, but from my experience, they do not last as long and are not as efficient as the other systems discussed here. So to wrap everything up, the thing to keep in mind with roof restorations and liquid applied systems is that each type of system has a different purpose, and they all have pros and cons. There's no one size fits all type of roof restoration. And I hope that this video is very informative to you. If you liked it, please like the video and follow us on YouTube. Thanks.